Hi and welcome back, my name is Emelie. In this video we're going to take a closer look at some of the new products from Trinity Stamps' latest release. I fell in love with this stamp set the minute I saw it. It's called Majestic Unicorn and it's just beautiful, and it has coordinating dies that you can purchase separately, and it also has a separate stencil that makes for some really quick coloring, and I will use all of these products together for today's project. So you can see here how the stencil looks. I like to cut the top of my stencils packs and just keep my stencil in that pack later when I'm storing it. I just like to see what company the stencil is from, and it makes it super easy to know exactly what it's called and everything. So that is something I just like, and you can see how easy that colors in the body and everything else on this unicorn. You can see how to line up the tail as well here, and I wanted this to be two-toned for a magic look, and that is super easy with the blending brushes from Trinity Stamps, as well as with stencil in general. It's really nice when you can use your inks like this. It would have been hard, even for me anyway, to get this look with any other medium than with my brushes. So I really like that I could create this magical look. And for the horn, I think it's called a horn, right? There is a part that you can use to color that in as well, but I decided to go in with a marker. It just felt easier at the time. And yeah, here's the coordinating die, and just cut it out. You can see how that nicely cuts everything out. And then we will work on our background. So this is the mosaic background, also from Trinity Stamps' latest release. It comes with three stencils, if that makes sense. And to keep everything in place, I decided to use my stamping platform from Tim Holtz, and I took everything else away. I'm just using the base so I get a straight corner, and then I'm using all the stencils. And the paper that I used, I just took some removable adhesive to the backside just to keep it in place when I went over it with the stencil. And I just picked a couple of shades of blue and teal just to make this really into a fun and magical background. And for my sentiment, there is some beautiful ones in this small stamp set with the unicorn, and I went with You're Beautiful. And I will heat emboss that on top of a scrap piece of paper, black paper that I had in my stash. And I will use some white embossing powder. I just love white embossing powder on top of black cardstock. I just think that is so beautiful. And what I like about Trinity Stamps stamp sets and coordinating dies is that for the most part all of the sentiment has coordinating dies. So you can easily cut everything out, and you don't have to fussy cut or mess around with anything else. You just have everything so perfectly made for you. And to create some shimmer, I spritzed my unicorn with some glitter spray, and just to emphasize that magical touch. And I also wanted to share with you how that beautiful came out. And then I put some double-sided adhesive foam squares on top of, or on the back side of my unicorn. And you can see some helping hands here. I had William in my craft room. I created a bunch of projects at the same time, so you can see he's messing around with everything and he wants to touch everything. So I'm sorry if that is shaking the camera or if it's hard to see. I think he will disappear here in a second. So for my unicorn, I wanted that You're Beautiful to be on top of my main image, and I also wanted to have some more sparkle, so I took some sequins from Trinity Stamps. These are some teeny tiny iridescent stars. I just love them. I use them so much, and the fun thing is I use them on so many projects and it doesn't even look like I've used any in my container of them. So they are really jam-packed when you get them. So here is our first card, super shimmery with all of those little stars. And in the background, by the way, you can see the beautiful slimline floral swag. I used to love that die. So I wanted to pair it with this one as well. And I wanted to create a background pattern because that is something I really like to do with stamps. So I took this Majestic Unicorn and then I stamped it so I had it perfectly aligned, my first unicorn, and then I went around with an acrylic block and just stamped the rest of the images in the background. So I planned this sort of before I started to do this, just to make sure that I really filled my background with all of the unicorns. And then I just took the stencil and went around all of the background and filled in all of my unicorns. So with the stencil, to create a background pattern is super easy. It goes so fast. You can see I'm just switching it here all over and you have perfectly colored unicorns. So I love this so much. It went really fast. I mean, I sped this up a couple of times, but I know that I think I sped it up maybe five times or something like that. So you can imagine how fast it went in real life. It really was amazingly how quickly this was. And I just love to create when it's effortless and you get the results you like. Sometimes when you create and you doesn't get the result you like, you can get like frustrated and you don't think it's fun. But this was super fun and I cannot wait to play with this stamp set and stencils again. I have a couple of more ideas. I really hope I have time to create some more. So for my background, I thought it looked a little bit pale, so I went in with the coordinating colors for my tail and just did the same thing, went over my background. That is just a tip. I really like that. And I couldn't leave stuff like how it was, so I went in with some glue and I cut out the unicorn in the middle of my pattern. So this was some risky business on my part because I didn't know. I liked my background pattern, but I thought it was quite flat, so I wanted to make something happen. So then I cut out my centerpiece and then I cut it out once more with the coordinating dies from some glitter paper. And then you can see I'm slightly offsetting them just so you get that hint of gold. And of course I needed some dimensions, so you will see that I put some foam squares on the back of my center unicorn as well. And I think it turned out really nicely. So that really brought my card together, I think. That gave that like the oomph, if that makes sense. So for this one I just used some roll of double-sided adhesive. And then I just popped it right back like a puzzle. And I took another one of the sentiments from this set. He embossed it in white on black and then put it on top of our Majestic Unicorn. So here you have it, 2 projects featuring nearly the same products. And I used some stars on this one as well because I couldn't leave stuff as is. I just love the sparkle on that this gave. And I just love it. I think it turned out super cute and girly and bright and springy and everything. I really like it. So it would be really nice if you could leave a comment and maybe like this video and giving it a thumb up. And all the products that I use in this video will be linked down below. And until next time, I hope you have a great day. Bye!